point. I believe in choice. And I believe that people who make choices should also have responsibility for those choices. And if you have decided to come to university, and may I say a great and successful university that you are at, one of the leading universities in the country, you have made that choice which will lead to you having higher earnings. Out of those earnings, you will pay back the cost of your education. If you don't pay for it, it has to be paid for by somebody else. And you may think it will be paid for by some mythical billionaire. It won't be. National insurance contributions start being paid by people earning about £120 a week. Do you think they should pay for the choice that you're making? VAT is paid by everybody. So what you're really saying is that poorer people than you should pay for your education when you've made the choice and you will get the benefit. I think you've made the choice and you should have the responsibility. But there are great protections. Until you're earning £21,500, you won't pay back. And that's going to rise to £25,000. So that if it turns out that the education on which you've taken out the loan doesn't make you that extra money, then you don't have to pay back and the debt will be written off eventually. So it will depend on your success whether you contribute or not. And I think that's absolutely fair, because therefore you are free to make the choice with a safety net that you won't have this impossible burden in the event that you're not economically successful or that successful. But it means that you can take further choices in your life relatively free of that burden. And I think that's really important and a safeguard. But you know the best thing? That the poorest decile in our society have seen a 73% increase in places at universities since loans were increased. And do you know why that is? It's because the cap on places was removed. When it was all funded by the state retaliated by capping the total number of places. But who were least likely to get the places that were available with a limited pool? Those who had previously been let down by the education system, or whose parents had been let down by the education system. Once the cap was removed, ambitious people from the poorest section of society could suddenly go to university. As a Conservative, I'm really proud of that. I think it's the right policy.